Donald Trump beat the pollsters. He beat the corrupt mainstream media. He beat the establishment machine, and he beat the feminists like they were retarded stepchildren in the biggest upset in American political history. Trumpsters are jubilant, and the social justice crowd is now engaged in a mass tantrum from coast to coast. But when the emotions fade and the powers that be get down to the governance of the country, how will this actually fare for men and boys? I'll take a look at that and all the possibilities coming up next on An Ear for Men. Hi everyone, Paul here again, and welcome back to An Ear for Men. The reaction from the mainstream media, the media that tried everything short of assassination to prevent Donald Trump from being elected, has quickly gone to their increasingly ineffective trump card, pun intended, for rationalizing their failures. It's all about us angry white men. And according to GQ and other gynocentric publications, we are the reason that Trump won the presidency. I pondered on the GQ headline for a bit and scanned some other pouty sentiments now spreading across the mainstream media, deciding how I felt about the media attributing Trump's victory to pissed off white dudes, and I finally came to a sensible retort. Fuck yeah! Hell yes, we put Trump in office, and if the mainstream media had any sense, they would quit saying it like it's a bad thing. It's not. In fact, it's about time that men took their long-growing contempt for the likes of Hillary Clinton and Barack "this is what a feminist looks like" Obama to the polls and told them all to pack their shit and leave town. I'll be happy to lift my mug of feminist tears and send them on their merry way with a toast. By the way, it wasn't just white men. Trump got 13% of the black male vote, which does not seem like a big deal till you consider it is more black male voters than any Republican since Reagan. Apparently, some black men are pissed off too, and I'm not just talking about in a Black Lives Matter sort of way. Plenty of people across all lines are sick and tired of being ignored, mistreated, and exploited for their votes. Men, contrary to popular opinion, are at the top of those groups in that equation. And they just let the world know about it. This is not all roses, which I will get to ahead in this talk, but for now, just for this moment, I want to gloat like a Cubs fan. This election, in many ways, was a referendum on the shit stain that has come to represent American media. It was a referendum on identity and victim politics, and it was a major fuck you to political correctness. After all, who could imagine a guy like Donald grab-him-by-the-pussy Trump being elected to the most powerful position in the free world? Well, apparently not all the butt-hurt, safe space-needing, batshit crazy cry-bullies that are now on the streets in a dozen major cities protesting the fact that the people have spoken. And what the people have said is shut the fuck up. Personally, I was fist-pumping so hard on election night that I threw my shoulder out. I haven't experienced this much schadenfreude since seeing the convulsively apoplectic reaction to Brexit in establishment-worshipping Europeans who just could not believe that there were actually people out there who didn't want to be governed from Brussels. Now, like I said, this is not an all roses and puppy videos. Indeed, if you stop this video now, you might think that I just welcomed the Messiah and that we can all pull the plug on the narrative change and let Daddy Trump take care of business from the Oval Office. Of course, nothing could be further from the truth. You see, part of my jubilation, a good portion of it as a matter of fact, was not so much from Trump's election, but from the resounding rejection of Hillary Clinton. Clinton, who had nothing good in mind for men at all, lost even bigger than the vote showed. She had a $2 billion election war chest, the mainstream media in her corrupt little pocket, a totally rigged primary, operatives feeding her debate questions, the Justice Department and the FBI protecting her and her husband's criminal enterprise, a slew of never-Trump Republicans serving as her lapdogs, and more intangible advantages than could ever be counted, and she still lost the election to a reality TV host and casino owner. She should have pulled down over 400 electoral votes and didn't because pissed-off men wouldn't let her. That made her loss even more astounding and twice as enjoyable. But the question remains, even as the confetti is still making its way to the floor, what kind of president will Trump be for the men who got him elected? Let's take a look at one of the first things Trump said after getting the news that he won.
I pledge to every citizen of our land that I will be president for all Americans, and this is so important to me.
Now, as much as I would like to believe that that's true, we won't know if it's just more bullshit for a while. And to be fair to the man, he has a lot on his plate. He ran on immigration, national security, the Supreme Court, trade, jobs, and the economy. More than a handful right there, especially with the shape that we're in. I'm going to suggest two areas, though, where Trump will show us what he's made of. One is the Violence Against Women Act, one of the most corrupt and destructive acts in American history given its impact on American families. Trump may be presented at some point with the opportunity to sign on to gutting that act. Another is the Dear Colleague letter, an edict straight out of the Obama administration that represents a massive rollback of civil rights and due process for young men in college. Trump could kill that one with the stroke of his pen any time he wants after he's inaugurated. And if he doesn't within a reasonable period of time, he won't be anything more to men and boys, to their families and loved ones, than both Bushes and both Clintons, which is to say he will be just another establishment hack that shoves a knife into the back of the people who hired him. I note that during the campaign that Trump said he didn't care about the men, that it was the women he was concerned with. Well, that's campaign rhetoric when he knew he was polling badly with women, so I'll give him a pass on it as a politician. But I won't give him a pass if he proves that he meant it. Trump has the next 4, possibly 8 years to rid us of travesties like VAWA and the Dear Colleague Directive. He has the bully pulpit to speak out about the unjust insanities that plague our family court system. If he wants to make America great again, he better have the intelligence to figure out that it is men who are the ones who will actually get that done. If they continue to live in a country that is hostile to them, dismissive of their civil rights, and willing to throw them under the bus for the sake of sexual politics, then Trump will earn nothing more than a seat in the back next to Hillary. I'll be watching his presidency to see what he does, and will be offering you my opinion on it in the days ahead here. And that is it for another talk from An Ear for Men. But before I close, I want to give you a reminder that the Red Pill movie, the movie feminists don't want you to see, is coming up in Houston, Texas on Thursday, December 15th at 7 p.m. Tickets are available through the link in the low bar, as is another link to make a donation for those who would like to help cover the costs of providing this movie to the Houston area audience. As always, I hope you've enjoyed, even if you haven't, and see you next time.